Yes, that was day 59, our last park up on the coast of Spain. 15 days later, we were back home in Hungary. A total of 73 days of living and travelling in the van. It was an adventure of a lifetime, but certainly it won't be the last.
Good morning, boy. What are you eating? Biscuit.
Joystick I gave it. Total of 6 countries, more than 7,000 kilometres of motorways, local roads and dirt roads. We camped at the foot of castles, next to historic churches, in the forest, by numerous rivers, lakes and oceans, on the side of the road and in public car parks. All 71 times for free. There were only 2 nights we stayed in a campsite, and that was when the heat was of heatwave proportions. We thought we should take a break from driving and cool down amongst the pine trees in the campsite, but even then it never changed our preference for wild camping. Not only are campsites quite expensive today, we also find they are too crowded and noisy. So to recap the 15 days that followed, we left Altafulla to head towards the mountains, to Andorra, where we will cross the Pyrenees again to enter France. But first things first, Maria wanted to see the ruins of the Roman villa just in front of us. It was a Sunday and entrance to the museum was free. The Roman villa of Els Munts is one of the best preserved Roman aristocratic villas in the world. It was built in the 1st century AD. It had several gardens and bathhouses that also extend to the sea. That one we showed you on the last video. After visiting the museum, we then headed towards Andorra. While the coast was delightfully warm, the way to Andorra was getting colder and colder, as it is actually situated up in the mountains. But before we finally left sunny Spain, we thought we should stay one more night, and we chose the picturesque village of Arfa, just 16 kilometers to Andorra. And so glad we did. The drive to Arfa was stunningly beautiful, passing through spectacular mountain ranges, with the snaking river Segre, which attracts water sports lovers from all over Europe. So we finally entered Andorra, the 6th country of our 73-day van life itinerary. The capital of Andorra, La Vella, is the highest capital city in Europe, at an altitude of 1,023 meters. It was grey as soon as we crossed the border. Andorra is tiny, in fact the world's 16th smallest country by land, and its topography consists of rugged mountains and narrow valleys. So its capital city is understandably built in the most cramped conditions.
Straight to stay on CG1.
Very cheap diesel, €1.25. Gasoline stations every 100 meters. Another gasoline station.
Commercial centres are not attractive at all, but despite the lack of aesthetics, they are still visited by 10 million tourists a year. Why? Because of the country's duty-free status. So people from nearby France, Spain and beyond go to Andorra to buy cheap cigarettes and liquors. And don't forget also petrol and diesel. How can you not have dogs in this flat?
Just when we found a parking at the center and we see the sign no dogs allowed. So we have to find again another parking spot. There, no dogs. There's only one road.
There's only really one main road through Andorra. There's steep mountains either side. One end of it's France and the other end is Spain. And that's basically it. The rest are just little mountain places with a few houses. That's basically it. That is Andorra. It's always a joy driving through the Pyrenees, from Spain to France and vice versa. You get to see those breathtaking mountain roads, historic viaducts, raging rivers, medieval villages. It's one of the most scenic drives you can imagine. After crossing the Pyrenees, we drove straight towards the sea again in the south of France, where the weather was warmer. And our first park up is a very interesting lagoon near Perpignan, overlooking the Pyrenees mountains, the Étang de Canet Saint-Nazaire. Charlie loves the water and we love it too. So as we snaked our way through France, we chose places that are near the water. One such place is a mini waterfall in Lours, France. We also drove along the Lac du Verdon. Its stunning turquoise waters makes it one of the most beautiful lakes in France. And finally, the Mediterranean Sea that we love so much. Charlie had his last swim at the sea in Ventimiglia,
We
Italy.
love so much, but unfortunately we have to go home.
Well, there's no sea at all.
Worse, there's no sea, just muddy lakes.
We also sat there as we said our last goodbyes. It will be quite a while before we see the sea again.
Charlie cannot wait to swim.
Keep going! Oh my god!
My God.
Insane.
My God. How does he go up back? He just lets himself go to the water.
I'd love to canoe down that river. God, I'd really love to do that. But the pristine Soca River in Slovenia, at the border with Italy, is what blew us away. Magical emerald green waters, as if it came out from a fairy tale. And we were lucky, there was a bungee jumping going on at the time. Amazing. And talking about water, we also visited the most beautiful bridges along the way, like the 17th century bridge at Entrevaux in Provence,
This is in
France.
the Haute-Provence, and very beautiful. Just stopped here to take a look around.
And another one in Dolce Acqua, Italy, where even the French painter Claude Monet was starstruck. He made the bridge a subject of several of his paintings. Amazing fairy tale-like towns, where castles abound even if you don't look for them, like when we walked along the ramparts of Beaucaire Castel.
Charlie. Charlie. Yes, the foot of the tower, oh.
Or we parked next to it in Gorizia, the last town in Italy. Or even sat for a drink and apero at the castle restaurant in Cordovado. We had some beautiful food along the way, and one we won't forget is the picnic we had at Hérault, France.
I love it, so delicious.
It should be done.
Perfection.
We grilled some ground beef. I have to say that it's done to a turn. Delicious.
Delicious. Oh, come on.
Cheers.
Cheers. Delicious. Wow. So we have arrived at Camping La Romarang, where we will stay with our friends Louis and Lena.
Ta-da!
We had a great get-together with our friends, a couple from the Netherlands, who we got reunited with during the early part of this journey, last March. And towards the end of this journey, we met them again in the last part of May.
Now we are having a nice aperitivo. Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Musan les Appuis.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful site.
Yes.
Excellent shower.
Okay, friends. Sante. Thank you for having us.
The aperitivi, the food they prepared was simply delightful.
Lena, the very gastronomic chef. Yes, very French. Chevre show.
In both in taste and presentation. Incredible experience. We really enjoyed it.
Portuguese here.
Portuguese wine.
What do they say they did tell us. Now you're going to go.
Yes.
How much like portions. Like Beatrix Potter eating.
Thank you.
You don't own.
Okay.
Thank you.
You don't own.
It's video. It's okay.
Towards the end of our trip, except when we were crossing the Pyrenees, as you would expect, it was foggy and dark skies in the mountains. The sun was always shining except one afternoon where we were so tired that we took a nap, then suddenly got awakened by the sound of tiny stones hitting the roof. It was hailstones.
More a bit up, please. More. Okay, that's enough for now.
And mishaps and near mishaps. We must have driven through several, like the one near Venice. We wanted to have a picnic near the water, so we followed this road, and it was going narrower and narrower until it says no entry at the end. Whether we like it or not, we had to turn back, and the only way is to make a full 180-degree turn. But with the width of the road, it's almost the same as the length of the van. But we plodded on, inch by inch. Maria was having the biggest scare of her life. But if the van falls into the ditch, but we managed to make it. Safely.
It's probably wondering what we're doing here.
So on day 73 we finally arrived home. So happy, another great experience under our belt. And despite the jungle-like state of the garden having been untended for 73 days, it's still our home. We look forward to the next Vanlife journey coming up.